Give me
Yeah,
like 15 minutes to think. But
that's,
here we are. Here we are.
but here we are, man, and we on, man. We live, man. The Reminisce Show every Tuesday, man, 7 p.m. as we carry the traditions of Sankofa, to go back and collect what we may have forgotten, and by doing so, this connects us, to ourselves, to our future, and all those who came before us, man. So yeah, that's what it is. But we do it through hip hop, man. And that's what Reminisce is all about. Hip hop for life, man. Built me,
Hip hop
made me
for
who
life,
I am. I don't know
man.
what I would do without it. I
Where
really don't. Like,
where would you be without hip hop? I have no idea. I mean, I think I might know. I would be. I mean, my very first dream before I became dreamt of being a rapper was to be a comic book illustrator, which is
okay,
something Prodigy did. Eminem's an artist. Pharoah Monch is an artist.
all
Yo,
right,
even Charlie Tuna from Jurassic 5.
really,
I met
okay,
him, and I met him at a hip hop karaoke, and he's like, "Yo, dog, I do art," and he showed me like crazy
that's
pictures he
incredible.
put.
Wow,
Yeah, like yeah. So like, I would probably be an artist, but like, there would be a part of my soul that's very frustrated and furious, and like, yo. So
the reason,
I mean,
yeah, like, it'd be kind of crazy for me to even think about it because like hip hop is what gave me like a voice. It was my outlet of expression, and I don't know where it would have went if I didn't have that outlet. I would just kept a lot of things inside, and that would probably affect me in dysfunctional ways or whatever. But hip hop was like, my reminder that there's people going through similar things, and that I'm understood. I'm not crazy. It really validated me in many ways. And it gave me like permission to be myself. You know what I mean? So that being said, without hip hop being that kind of like that tool, that resource for me to discover these things about myself. Yo, I don't even know. I really don't know what the direction would have been, but we here, man. We here.
we here absolutely, and like, I don't like. I would have been drawing, but I quit drawing because like there's certain like if I couldn't draw about like injustice and like and politics and black theory and stuff, I couldn't go to Marvel or DC or be like, yo, I have these
Yeah.
politics and like I want to mix my art with my politics the way that we can in hip hop. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't see like if they like, yo, if you I would be trying to like draw Black Panther, I guess, or like even create the Black Panthers in cartoon form, but like
Right.
they wouldn't be investing in that, and I'd be out on the street just like writing poetry
Right,
on the curb,
exactly.
like, yo, fuck this motherfucking Babylon. What
Yeah.
do I do with all these words inside me? And I'd be like
Yeah.
trying to put it
Well,
on pop beats or something, or
Well,
jazz.
yeah, like it seems like you would have been like a natural creative, and I think that's really the answer. Like, we would have found some kind of creative outlet to still express, you know what I mean? And as we mentioned, like, some of the best like art comes from these like dire situations. We're talking earlier about Illmatic and Nas, which I'm sure we'll get into later. But like just like the environment of where these musics and these songs were coming from, they were coming from a place of rejection. A place of like, yo, like you're not getting played on the radio, and hip hop was like, nah, you're going to play this, So
No doubt.
that's
That's so
yeah,
hip hop. You're so right. Hip hop, the entire thing, like, it's so weird for people to be like, oh, hip hop is everywhere and it's in commercials and you can just press a button and it's on any device you want right now. Like, that was the
right.
opposite of where hip hop came from. Like,
Thank
you
you.
used to have to dig for hip hop. You used to have
Come
to
on,
tweak a radio at
come
2 in the
on,
morning for hip
come
hop.
on.
You used to have to wait 7 days to watch 30 minutes of Rap City on Thursdays, only on Thursdays.
Right.
Remember? And if you missed Rap City's Much Music's 30 minutes of hip hop, there was your no hip hop videos for you that week. Like,
There we
people,
go.
like, we came from such scarcity in hip hop.
Right, and that like changes like what it means and how we experience hip hop fundamentally. Because like you said, like we have to search for it. There is like this like dedication and commitment. Not to say that doesn't exist today, but
Yeah.
like again, the scarcity. Like you really had to dig, and that's what like getting certain records or certain CDs or cassettes were like a gem, and you would hold that. You know what I mean? People would be like, "Yo, let me borrow that CD," and you're like, "Nah, you're not borrowing nothing."
Nah.
You know what I mean? So like
Straight
there
up.
was like this like prized possession that came with that. And
That's right.
you know what I mean? Those are the foundations, man, that we come from. And it's important that we understand, you know, the timeline, the storyline of hip hop. So these are all the elements, man, that connect the dots.
Mm-hmm. You said it. You said it. And speaking of prized possession, prized possession, I'd like to use that to parallel and celebrate our dude Nasir bin Uladaro Jones has won his first Grammy, first Grammy this weekend. I mean, prefacing this always with Chuck D. It's always Chuck D's words forever. Who gives a fuck about a goddamn Grammy? We don't need Grammys. Hip hop don't need Grammys to know that it's special and important and powerful and brilliant. But it is. If they want to recognize Nas for his greatness, like we were doing in '92 with Illmatic, okay.
And like you mentioned before, you know, big up to Nas for like his like evolution. He's an artist that I've definitely followed and I've been inspired by. It's even like, you know, like his storytelling and just music and how he was able to like really paint these vivid pictures, you know. So definitely like salute to him for his evolution and staying relevant and making the right collaborations, you know, like reaching out to the new generation and really passing that torch and making those connections, you know. And yeah, man, gotta salute him for all of that. Salute Nas, man, coming through. Big up.
Salute Nas. And interestingly, I mean, they don't talk about it much, but one like kind of quiet fact about if somebody wins a platinum record, everybody else that was involved in the record also gets a platinum plaque with it. Right. So not only did Nas win a platinum plaque, but big up, we now live in a world where AZ has a Grammy, Cormega has a Grammy, Bucky Brown has a Grammy.
Oh, because they were featured on that. That's
because they were on the album. Yeah. So it's like, wow. Yeah, and I saw Cormega talk about it. Cormega went on and he was like, yo, he was cool. He's like, big up to everyone in the category. It was a good, everyone deserved it. But he's like, yeah, like I just woke up today and I have a Grammy win. And it's like, yeah, Cormega now has a Grammy.
From that perspective, like I like that, you know what I mean? So it's not just the artist, but it's really everybody who contributed to this body of work, and they're all getting that kind of recognition. And especially some of the OG artists like that we've like, you know, held close to like in the 90s and whatnot, see that recognition, you know, which is dope. But, you know, going back to like what you mentioned about like Chuck D and you know, like the Grammys reminds me of like one of Drake's speeches like recently. I think it was maybe about 2 years ago, where he was like, you know, basically going off and saying like, you know, the Grammys, this is like an opinion-based sport, and this isn't necessarily the thing for validation. Like, you know, if you have like, you know, fans that are coming out and supporting your show in the rain and whatnot, and you've already won basically, you know what I'm saying? So I think it's always great to acknowledge that, like, you know, the connection you have with your community, with your fan base, your peoples. But at the same time, it is nice to be recognized, but you know, that's not the whole entire piece, but it is nice, man. It is nice.
Absolutely. I gotta co-sign my brother Kamal, our brother Kamal, because Kamal was on Twitter being like, yeah, I mean, you know, I love him for it. Like, some people will disagree with this, but I love what Kamal said. Kamal was like, yo, if I see one more black person, like, super happy over this validation or this need, or he said, the need validation is a hell of a drug. The need for validation is a hell of a drug. And and he's like, yo, and Kamal was very wise, like, yo, do people not remember like only a few years ago when Macklemore beat Kendrick Lamar or shit like that? It's like, yo, this is the same organization. Why are like we giving them props 1 year and then like dissing them another year? And I'm always fuck the Grammys. But at the exact same time, it's like, if the Grammys happen to pick any artist that I like, period, and if the Grammy, like the Grammys could be the devil, but if the devil even says, yo, this artist is great, and it results in that artist getting more sales and success,
indeed,
then I'm gonna like
100.
Oddly, I'm gonna big up the devil for a moment. I'll be like, yo, you're like the end result is somebody that I love getting more sales and respect. I'm happy with that. So that's the only like, I don't care, but Grammy, like, fuck that. We all make our own classic records, and we don't need the Grammys to tell us what's classic. But yeah, on some years, like, yo.
Well, speaking of more validation with the Grammys, I got to shout out a producer named Dirtwork from Montreal. He actually had a hand in producing Kanye West's Jesus is King album.
Oh, word?
So I believe that got like a Grammy as a gospel album. So it's pretty cool to know that Dirtwork was part of that, man. He's been part of like the Montreal hip hop scene for a long time, work with a whole bunch of different artists, and I've known him for about 10 years now. So seeing him consistently, started off like, working with Boy Wonder and then some other artists and producers, and now him getting this kind of recognition is pretty cool to see, you know what I mean? So I'll definitely give that shout out, just seeing some Canadians up there doing their thing, so yeah, man, it's inspiring.
Yo, big up to, speaking of Canadians, just two really quick right now, we have to recognize one. Shout out and salute to K Tronada, because K Tronada won.
Yes.
And K Tronada, it's like fucking weird, great and horrible, but K Tronada is the first Black artist in Grammy history to win Best Electronica Album. And it's like, what the fuck?
Really?
What are you talking? The very first Black artist to win, and it's like, yo, like Black people have been like, Detroit techno has been around for like 40, 50 years.
Come on.
Exactly. Like fucking what happened to Planet Rock and like Kraftwerk, like yeah.
Well, this goes back to like, Drake's Grammy speech there where he said this is an opinion-based sport, so it's like, and they may not understand the dynamics of certain artists and the origins of where it comes from, so, but hey, it's better late than never. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's like late to the party, but we're glad you showed up. Yeah,
it's true. And the very last one is somebody who says they are no longer showing up to the party, but we have to fucking salute him because The Weeknd did something that nobody else on the planet ever did. Where that fucking record that he made, that one song that he made that was in the Billboard Top 10 for the entire year. No song in human history has ever done. Drake never did it. Michael Jackson never did. Like nobody did it but The Weeknd. And it's like, how? And then the Grammys are like, yo, we're not nominating that album or that song. And it like, whoops, we forgot like one of the biggest things of the last 50 years. So The Weeknd is rightfully like, fuck y'all. I'm boycotting y'all. I obviously don't need y'all, but like. You don't have credibility if you don't recognize The Weeknd. Like, there's no reason.
It's true, especially he hit every part. Like there's no reason for that. But with this opinion-based sports, this is exactly that. It's an opinion. It has nothing to do with actual numbers, I guess. I'm sure there's some elements, but who knows? But anyways, that.
Yeah, just had to big up our Canadian peoples, and we know what time it is. Fuck all the organizations who don't, but bun the politics, big up the artists.
Facts, man. And then speaking of artists and Drake, he also made history, I believe, with like his latest EP. Like all 3 songs debuted at like the top 100, in the Billboard. So they're debuting at like number 1, 2nd, and 3rd slots. So like the whole entire EP is at the top of the charts.
Wow,
that's like, I guess like that has never been done before, so it's crazy. Like these records that are being broken, like things have just never been done before by, us Canadians.
Like Canadians,
it's pretty cool to see, you know what I mean? Like it just inspires and really knows that, okay, man, there's things that we can do. Just got to put our mind to it forward.
You said it. You're absolutely right, yo. It's so great to see our dudes make records that nobody in history's done. Like, yo. Big up, yo. Quick shout out to our guests. Big up, E Banks and Colleen up on the check-in. Thanks for being here. But speaking of the Grammys as well, you said did you see some of the Lil Baby performance? What did you think of that?
Yeah, I was confused, because I know that there's Lil Baby and Da Baby. So it was Lil Baby who's performing. I'm watching this performance. I'm like, that doesn't look like the baby. Like I'm so confused. But 2 different people. Da Baby, Lil Baby, Two different people. Got it. Okay. Yeah. Like, like his performance was kind of, this this theatrical kind of like, setting of like, someone getting pulled over, and then, the police are there, and all of that emotion that goes on with that, and trying to like, like rise above that type of like resilience. I mean, we've seen these kind of scenes and whatnot, but I mean, from a Grammy standpoint, I guess it's great to, see the conversation continuing and using that platform, to bring more, I guess, awareness, of the pressing issues or whatever. I don't know, like it was all right to me, like I didn't really strike me as something like super spectacular, but we just gotta like do our parts, like I really appreciate artists who use their platforms to like, bring some kind of social justice awareness or whatever. You don't have to do it all the time though, but definitely to recognize that you have a platform, and if you have a platform, it's wise to use that to say something when you can. So from that perspective, it's blessed. You know what I mean? It's cool.
Totally agree, yo. And like this year, since they didn't have people in the auditorium, it seemed like they could put some extra money into the performances, and it was very impressive visually. It like looked like it was almost shot in a street, like a real street with real police brutality. Yeah. They had like a real cop car there and all this stuff. It wasn't like on the Grammy stage. So like the Baby had a very powerful performance. I thought it was whack. Like the category, I don't know who won over him, but oh yeah, Megan, like I'm happy for Megan Thee Stallion's success, but I don't think in the year that we just had that like Megan Thee Stallion Savage should win over a song like The Bigger Picture by Lil Baby. Like that's one of the only songs that came out last year of any young or old generation person talking about what was happening.
It's too much. It's too much. It's like, hey, you can do the performance, do the theatrical act, but to be rewarded for this, now hold on, you're asking too much. Settle down.
You nailed it. Ken. You nailed it. They're like, we see you, but we won't elevate you.
Right.
Yeah. Right. You're so right. They're like, we can't reward this, but like, we'll give it a nod. And it's like, yo, come on, man. Like, I mean, Megan won 2 awards. It's like Beyonce has 28 awards. Like they don't need another one for a song that's just about Savage, about fucking. Like, honestly, is that really that special? Like, beyond, like, it's special for Megan, but I don't mean to rant about it. But I just wanted to say, like, I wish that like The Bigger Picture by Lil Baby got a little more recognition, but that's still
I mean, when there's too much like enlightenment and awareness, but you got to throw in a little bit of distractions. You know what I'm saying? Like it's too potent. You gotta just gotta sprinkle a little on top.
True, so true. So which is what they did, and like I didn't. The very last thing I'll say is I don't rate that song on the level of Fight the Power. Because last year, what happened last year? Chuck D did a Fight the Power remix with Black Thought and Nas and Rhapsody and whatever. And that's 25 years later. That song, Fight the Power, is like, that might be the last song we play in North America in the final battle between Babylon and white supremacy. Like, literally. I'm like, okay, Lil Baby's song isn't that good. Like, it's not like.
But it continues the conversation. It continues the vibe.
Yeah, for real. I'm like whatever, but still, at least that happened. But let's we can move on. Maybe I don't know if you should we talk about the Cardi B thing?
Tell me about Cardi B, man. Keep me in tune because I do not know. So this is the first time I'm hearing it. What's up?
Okay, it's real. I'll be real quick about it. Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion did a performance of WAP on the Grammys.
All right.
Yeah, Trevor Noah was pretty funny about it. Trevor Noah did a good hosting job, and he's like, "This is the world premiere of a song called WAP, and like, children beware." It's like, families beware, and it's like, we're gonna see what they actually say, because it's like, they're obviously not gonna say wet ass pussy, but it's like, how are they gonna make this a clean version? And they just said wet, wet, wet. That's what they said. Come get this wet, wet, wet. So it's like, oh, okay.
Okay. I guess that works.
Yeah, they made it work. So they had the stage was a huge bed, and Cardi B and Megan were like rolling around in it, and it was very sexy. It was
Okay.
it was good. It was like over the top. It was sexy as well. But Candace Owens just came out her mouth like a week. What am I saying? A week, an hour ago.
Okay.
And she was just like, yo, I saw that Cardi B Megan performance on the Grammys, and Candace Owens just had to be another person slandering black women. She'd be like, yo, how are women gonna get respect doing this? What is wrong with them? This is, let's call spade a spade. That was disgusting, blah blah blah. And it's like,
wow, okay.
You sound like Rush Limbaugh, girl. Like, what's wrong with you?
I mean, she definitely always got something to say, and that's from my perspective, it's like free speech. I mean, people can say whatever they need to. I think it's important to have like different contrasts and different things and whatnot. But I agree with like the idea of having to like bash like as a black woman, like going after other black women in that capacity. I think there's maybe another way to have like constructed conversations without like attacking, the individuals or whatever. Because especially with the media, like I see that as just like an opportunist, like kind of way to like, utilize the spotlight and whatever. And I guess that's part of the game, you know what I mean? But I think there's other ways to like do that. Yeah.
Agreed. Totally agree, yo. You're absolutely right, brother. And yeah, I mean, it was just the same tired cliche narrative. And whenever people complain about it, it's like, come on, this is corny. Like, whether it's pop music or hip hop and like go back to the 30s, there's talking about rocking and rolling in the bushes, and like they're like, put your knife in my jam jar and all this stuff. That was like, yo, they had all these metaphors for sex. Like, there's always been sexual. Like, what the fuck?
Right.
Like. And like these people ain't doing anything new. So, and it's like you're never gonna stop human beings making sexy songs or art.
I mean, for me, like it's definitely an opportunity for education. Like viewers and especially if there's like parents that may have like kids and whatnot. Younger kids especially, and these images come up. I think it's an opportunity to create space for conversation and understanding. You know what I mean? And that education. Because I think that's really at the fear, like, put all these images with no context to it. So it's going to, take some like responsibility for deeper understanding and like that kind of stuff doesn't come across like in a song. You can play like the WAP song, but then there's no like social commentary to go with that. It has to be like, okay, well, here's some other aspects that you may want to understand about that. It's like, yeah, that's great or whatever, but like, how do we, create safer spaces? How do we have open communication and whatnot? All the elements that's necessary for something like that to go down, right? So I don't know. I think that's kind of like where it gets tricky. But I think like if Candace had more of that approach, like an educational piece, I think that would be more of an effective way to be like, okay, this could be cool, but there's a lot more to it.
Yo, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Like it doesn't help to make it a them versus us thing, right. and a right versus wrong thing. It's just like, yo, if you're into this, one, hopefully you're of age to understand what's totally going on here, and two, just like respect boundaries, your own boundaries and this other person. Right. But yeah, yo, like it's that just enough of Candace Owens. Black woman troll is like, what the hell kind of world?
We got to interview her one day, yo.
Yo, that would be great.
Yeah, man, for sure. Why not, yo? Yeah, down for that.
Yeah,
but that's what's up, man. Anything else, man, that came out this week that's worth discussing? Or I know you mentioned about like the Royals. I mean, you got some comments on that.
Yeah.
The family and the Queen.
Oh shit! Sorry, I just have to quickly say I gotta big up Colleen, yo. I have to, yo. Anderson .Paak and Bruno Mars did a song on the Grammys. Did you hear it? Yo,
no.
It's one of the illest songs.
I've seen Anderson .Paak perform live, and he's insane, incredible.
Yo, they did a song that was one of the illest songs of the year. It's called "Leave the Door Open," and Colleen, you're right. I played that song like 6 times after the award. It's phenomenal, and we just like rate that shit because it was really good.
Nice.
But yeah, I did want to go into that Megan and Harry. I didn't watch it all. I just watched like 10 minutes of it. It's like an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna say like I can have a fully formed opinion of it, but there's a few thoughts that I have.
Yeah.
And it's like, first, and all these royal family people, you jumped right into every trap and being like, we're not racist. That's not accurate. Like, yo, mother, like you don't have no black people. Yeah, quick, get a black person. You literally put out like had William and Kate walk with a picture of a black woman behind you. The day after, Harry and Meghan were like, these motherfuckers were worried about the color of our baby's skin. Harry was like, I'm not going to expose who, but when they found out that I was pregnant, they're like, oh, well, what of the color of the baby's skin? There was an actual conversation about that. And he was like, yo, what the fuck, yo? You ain't gonna like love my kid because it's my kid. You're gonna be like concerned about its complexion and shit. Like, oh, we don't want it to be. Yeah, we don't want it to be too dark, and like that's some British bullshit. Like, fuck off. So yeah, man. Like, and also the other part that I did see was Meghan was like, yo, I was like borderline suicidal. I wanted to kill myself while she was pregnant. She's like, yo, she's like, living in this place is hell, and they're like, nobody shows me love. I want to kill myself.
Yeah.
And then Oprah's like, yo, that's hardcore. And then fucking Piers Morgan was like, oh, she's exaggerating that she wanted to kill herself. Like, are you like, fuck you, motherfuckers? Like, not listening to Black King. Yeah. So all for that shit, like,
no, it's totally like insensitive, and you know what I mean, like, when women are pregnant, man, there's a lot of emotions that go along with that, and never mind being in an environment that's like that doesn't want you there, and you know what I mean, you're probably away from your family and what have you, and all these different elements, man. It's very possible, and again, like you said, like to deny someone's pain, is to like deny like the humanity within. It's like you're not even a human, like you're like less than, you know what I mean? To even question that, it's crazy to me, So, crazy. But so I go, in that like. I always believe, give people the opportunity to show who they are. You know what I mean? And like their actions will speak. Like, it's their authentic self speaking. Like prejudice, ignorance, and all. So
you're absolutely right, yo. You're absolutely right. And like the royal family been showing us who they are, yo. Like it's not nobody's surprised by things they do. Nobody's surprised. Like they're not being this progressive, evolutionary. You're not seeing United Colors of Benetton with all these light skin and dark skin people hanging around them. These motherfuckers, this is as white as it gets,
So that being said, it's kind of like, at the same time, on the flip side, it's like, well, kind of know what you're getting into. You know what I mean? So, entering these doors, it's like, it's inevitable. Like, you know what I mean? Like you got to know that that's going to happen.
Yeah,
you're right. To go in knowing that. You know what I mean? So it can't be a shock thing. Like, they done put that line in the sand. You feel me? So, so that being said, it's one of those, like, it is what it is scenarios though. But, it's just interesting to see that, the one drop rule is still, live in effect after all this time.
You're so right, brother. You are so right. I was talking with somebody, and somebody was even like, they were like, I mean, I don't even know how valid and fair of a criticism this is, but I was just like, I'm just going to put it out there because it supports what you just said.
Right.
Some people were like, how can Meghan Markle be mad when she went to the royal family and like she knew what, like she couldn't have not known what she was getting into to some degree. Like you wanted to be a token. And like they went that far. They're like, yo, you tried to be like a token black person to them, but they rejected you. So like, how is that surprising? And it's like, yikes, that's like a harsh way of putting it. Like, I don't think she wanted to be a token, but at the same time, like,
no. Yeah, for sure.
At the same time, I'm sure she was aware of like, hey, I don't see any black women around here.
Yeah.
Like,
no,
she's not just walking in there like, oh.
Yeah. No, don't get me wrong. Like it still doesn't justify like the treatments and whatever, because again, from a human perspective, it's like, yo, like that those whole treatments come from the mindset of like someone being like subhuman. You know, those are the origins to me, from my perspective. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is.
I agree.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, like you go in there knowing it, whatever, but then at the same time, it doesn't justify their like racist like tactics that they've been using forever. Like we even spoke about the queen and her you know, what was it, the Star of Africa diamond that she has in her in her crown?
Yeah, and because she still got it. Still got it to this day. Like just sitting there, bing, like oh yeah, you know, slave. You know, they never. I mean, they kind of sort of like whispered slavery was wrong, but never had a fully formal apology. But like, I mean, I think this week Barbados officially removed the royal the royal family as like their representatives. Like they're finally starting to do that shit. That's and it's like, yeah, like they you know, the whole Caribbean needs to like let the blood clot grip go of the. But like, yeah, man, you know, these people are so hypocritical. They're like, you know, we should do something. You know, yeah, you know, the past was horrible, but we're still gonna hold all the shit in our museums and all the gold that we stole. We're gonna hold on to it. But yeah, but we shouldn't. But we're going to. So,
yeah, it's like we're benefiting off of your oppression, so we don't really want to like change that just yet. I mean, maybe you know, never, but exactly. I mean, like, it really starts with you.
Yeah, like let's delay it. Let's talk about it again and delay it in another 50 years.
Yeah. We'll keep talking about it. You know,
totally.
We'll keep talking about it. I'll send you the Zoom confirmation later.
For real. We're gonna have a committee talk about the problems, and we're gonna pay a bunch of white people to discuss when is the right time to delay it again.
And then you can come up with like a report about it.
Yeah.
And then we can present that report, and then we will take that into consideration.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And then we'll get back to you next year after we've read the report with our recommendation.
Yes.
Give us our blood clot things, man.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yes.
What
would Peter Tosh say if he was here? That's what I want to know. What would Peter Tosh say, man? Like, he would always have something clever.
Yeah, for real. Like, yo, I think oh shit. This is I don't know if I showed this before. I don't even know if this show happened, but I know that this show was planned.
Dipset, Jim Jones, Cameron, Jules Santana.
Yeah.
Friday, June 19th. Where was this at?
At our favorite spot, you know, Sound Academy.
Okay, Sound Academy, formerly known as the Rebel right now, but Sound Academy was the joint, man. That was a classic setup right there.
Super classic. Yo, it's always been hell to get to Sound Academy. Like that's one of the worst. But like, but when you get there, it's like, all right, we're here. I'm glad.
Ain't that the truth, man?
Yeah, like I'm like, fuck, man. Like going out there is always horrible. And then the late night flex, you're like, yo, man, can I stay till 1:30? Will I get like a bus? Like the cherry bus.
You gotta like, you know, get that clock going, man.
Yeah.
Word.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, yo, I mean, shout out to Stacy Brizzle, Jelly Two Fly, and DJ Ritz, and Sold Out Entertainment on this. I'm not even sure if this show happened.
Yeah. That's Brent in them, no? Sold Out Entertainment. Is that Brent? No. That was
Frank. Frank. He actually was my manager for a little while.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a dude named Frank. But yeah, no. Brent was Just Entertainment.
That's just insane. And was this guy? Is he from Barrie? Those guys?
Yeah, he was out from no, Far East End, I think. He was from like the outskirts of the city. I think he was from Mississauga.
Oh, okay, that's what's up. All right.
Yeah, but he was he managed me for a couple months. It was pretty cool. But yeah, yo. The reason I'm saying that is because I know Cameron was canceled a couple times before he actually got here, and that might have been one of the canceled shows. And my my very last show before COVID hit was actually a Cameron concert. Like I waited 27 years to see Cameron, and I saw him like last March 28th or February 28th before everything shut down.
Super last one, man. You got that.
Yeah, like I will never forget that Cameron concert.
Jeez. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's
man. Do you have any plans for the week, man? What do you have any?
Just a lot of like programming, like with the schools and virtual stuff and whatnot. But I'm just looking forward to like warmer weather, being outside more. Hopefully, there's some venues and just I don't know, like performances in the park or something, man. But like, I'm just looking forward to that, So I'm getting in that mindset, like spring cleaning, just really getting in that mindset.
You're right, fam. Yeah, you're so right. I mean, I just took a walk just earlier before the show, and it's pretty nice outside. I think the weather's coming. I don't know if we're gonna get one more snowfall, but if we don't, then spring is here.
I've retired winter. I'm good. I mean, like I can't even go skating because like this rink is melted. So I'm like, okay, well, winter's done to me. So it's like we're done. You know what I mean? I can't go skating. All right, man, winter's done. Let's get on with it. Spring, where you at, man? Where you at?
That's dope. That's dope. Yeah. Skates away. Springtime. Yeah. Word. Well, man, it was good to build with you, brother, man. Every time, man.
Always good to check in, man. Reminisce Show, man. We're going to continue. We got some special guests lined up coming through. So we're going to keep you all in tune, man. So join us every week, Tuesdays, 7 p.m. as we reminisce. Till next time, y'all.
For you. Thanks to our guests.